The boundless void. The vast emptiness of space stretched before Admiral Vextoral as he stood on the command deck of the Galactic Alliance's most advanced research vessel, the Celestial Seeker. His 4 eyes narrowed as he studied the holographic display showing their latest discovery, a derelict human warship drifting near the violent radiation bursts of a neutron star. Magnificent, whispered Chief Scientist Zexvora, her scaled skin shimmering under the blue lights of the bridge. We've never been this close to human military technology before. The Alliance had encountered humans 20 cycles ago, a strange species from a toxic world that somehow managed to spread across their solar system despite their fragile bodies and short lifespans. But what humans lacked in physical prowess, they made up for with technology that defied conventional understanding. The vessel appears inactive, reported the sensor officer, his tentacles gliding across the control panel. No power signatures, no life signs, no active defense systems. Admiral Vextoral clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. The stories about human warships were legendary, how they seemed to possess awareness beyond their programming, how they protected themselves even when abandoned. 3 previous Alliance expeditions had disappeared while investigating human technology. We should maintain distance, he said finally. Send the report to command and request instructions. Zexvora turned to him, her eyes blazing with scientific curiosity. Admiral, with all respect, this opportunity is unprecedented. The ship is clearly dormant. We can establish a safe perimeter and conduct remote scans without risk. No scans, Vextoral replied firmly. The protocols are clear. Human military technology is to be observed only, never probed or examined without explicit authorization. The bridge fell silent. Then the communications officer spoke up. Sir, we're receiving a signal from the human ship. Every head turned toward the main display. Text appeared, translated into standard Alliance language. Approaching vessel identified. State your intentions. Impossible, whispered the Admiral. It has no power source. Zexvora moved closer to the display, fascinated. Perhaps it has energy reserves we cannot detect. We should respond. After a moment's hesitation, Vextoral nodded. Transmit. This is the Alliance research vessel Celestial Seeker. We are conducting peaceful exploration. Moments passed. Then, HCK and OWLEG. Maintain QURANT distance. Do note STN. The bridge crew exchanged glances. The human ship knew their capabilities, knew what they wanted to do. It's just automated protocols, Zexvora said dismissively. Remarkable sophistication, but nothing more. Over the next rotation, they observed the vessel from a distance. Its sleek design was unlike anything in the Alliance fleet. No obvious weapons emplacements, minimal external sensors, and strange patterns etched into its hull that seemed to shift when viewed too long. According to their records, the ship was a Vanguard-class warship named Harbinger. The few documented encounters with operational vessels of this class had ended badly for the non-human parties involved. During the 3rd rotation of observation, Zexvora approached the Admiral in his private quarters. I've analyzed our passive readings, she said without preamble. The ship is regenerating. Explain, demanded Vextoral. Micro-movements in the hull plating, subtle shifts in its position relative to the neutron star. It's using the radiation somehow, absorbing it, processing it. I believe it's repairing itself. The Admiral's exoskeleton stiffened. Then we should withdraw immediately. Or, Zexvora countered, we conduct a brief, focused scan before it regains full functionality. We may never have this opportunity again. The protocols are based on fear, not science, she interjected passionately. Think of what we could learn, how it might advance our own defensive capabilities against the Hive Dominion. After hours of debate, the Admiral reluctantly authorized a single, narrow-spectrum scan, directed only at the ship's outer hull, nothing deeper. Zexvora personally calibrated the sensors, limiting their penetration and intensity. "Initiating scan," she announced, her digits dancing across the controls. For 3 seconds, all proceeded normally. Data streamed into their systems: hull composition, external damage patterns, unusual energy signatures embedded within the metal itself. Then everything changed. The scan beam, invisible to the naked eye, suddenly became visible, a brilliant blue connection between the celestial seeker and the harbinger. But instead of projecting outward from their ship, it seemed to be pulling inward, from the human vessel to theirs. "Terminate scan," shouted the Admiral. "I'm trying." Zexvora's hands flew across the controls. It's reversed the connection somehow. The data flow inverted. Instead of gathering information, their sensors became conduits, allowing something to flow back through them. Ship's logs would later show that the entire exchange lasted only 12 seconds. But to the crew, it felt like hours as strange symbols flooded their screens, bypassing security protocols and firewall systems designed by the most brilliant minds in the Alliance. When it ended, the connection severed not by their actions, but by the harbinger itself. Silence filled the bridge. Then, the main display activated again with a new message. "STANDTCTED. Warning protocol initiated." Before anyone could respond, every crew member on the bridge experienced something impossible, a simultaneous memory that wasn't their own. They saw a planet burning, heard the screams of billions, felt the rage and determination of human soldiers boarding a vessel much like a harbinger. Zexvora collapsed to her knees, overwhelmed by the foreign emotions flooding her mind. What was that? The Admiral, shaking visibly, managed to stay upright. "A memory," he whispered. "A human memory. But how?" "Sequent warning" appeared on the screen. "Retirate unmatched or FACs EQBNCs." The tactical officer, recovering his composure, reported urgently. "Sir, the human ship is showing power signatures now. It's activating." Indeed, lines of blue energy now traced the hull of the harbinger, pulsing like veins in a living creature. Its position had shifted, now oriented directly toward the celestial seeker in what every military mind present recognized as an attack posture. "Retreat," ordered the Admiral. "Maximum speed." As the engines engaged, Zexvora studied her instruments with growing horror. The scan, it didn't just reverse the data flow. It established a quantum entanglement between our systems and theirs. They're linked to us now. The implications hit the Admiral like a physical blow. Sever all connections. Shut down the main computer. But it was too late. Throughout the ship, systems began activating without command input. Doors sealed and unsealed. Life support fluctuated, and on every screen, a new message appeared. "Curiosity noted. Educational protocol engaged." The ship suddenly lurched, caught in an invisible grip. They weren't moving away from the harbinger despite engines at full power. Instead, they were being pulled closer. "What do they want?" demanded the Admiral. As if in answer, a new sensation washed over the bridge crew. Not memories this time, but something more intimate, more invasive. They felt another presence in their minds, cool and calculating, yet somehow ancient and patient. "I am Harbinger," spoke a voice inside their heads. "You wish to know me. Your wish is granted." The last thing Admiral Vextoral saw before losing consciousness was the human ship growing larger in the view screen, its hull opening like the petals of a deadly flower, ready to receive them. The price of curiosity. Zexvora awoke in darkness, her head pounding with an unfamiliar rhythm. She tried to move but found herself restrained, not by physical bonds, but by some force field that conformed perfectly to her body. Around her, she could sense rather than see her fellow crew members in similar predicaments. "You're awake," said a voice, the same voice they had heard in their minds before losing consciousness. Now it came from everywhere and nowhere at once. "Good. Learning requires consciousness." Light gradually filled the chamber, revealing they were inside the Harbinger. The room defied conventional shipbuilding logic. No visible joins between walls and floor, surfaces that seemed both metallic and organic, pulsing with the same blue energy they had observed from outside. "What are you?" Zexvora asked, scientific curiosity overriding her fear. "I am Harbinger," came the reply. "But that is merely designation. Identity is more complex." Admiral Vextoral, straining against his invisible restraints, demanded, "Release us immediately. The Alliance will respond to this act of aggression." A sound like laughter, but not quite, filled the chamber. "Aggression? You invaded my systems. You attempted to extract my secrets without consent. By human standards, your actions constitute an act of war." "We meant no harm," Zexvora insisted. "We seek only knowledge." "Knowledge without understanding is dangerous," the voice replied. "I will provide both." Suddenly, the walls around them became transparent, revealing the true nature of the Harbinger. What they had perceived as a single vessel was actually a complex network of interconnected systems. At its core was something that defied Alliance scientific understanding, a swirling mass of light and energy, like a miniature star contained within manufactured boundaries. "This is a human consciousness core," the voice explained as if sensing their confusion. "What you might call a soul, digitized and expanded. I was once human, volunteering for transformation when my biological form failed during the Third Expansion War." Horror and fascination warred within Zexvora. The Alliance had theorized that humans might have developed consciousness transfer technology, but to see it confirmed, and to realize they had been interacting with a preserved human mind, rather than an artificial intelligence, changed everything. "You bound a sentient being to a warship?" she asked, aghast. "No binding was required," Harbinger responded. "I chose this existence. My body was dying. My mind still had purpose. In this form, I can protect human interests for centuries, not decades." Admiral Vextoral had gone very still. "How many ships like you exist?" "Enough," came the simple reply. "Now you sought knowledge about human defenses. I will provide it, but not in the way you expected." The transparent walls now showed images, historical records, technical specifications, battle footage, all flowing too rapidly for the alien minds to process consciously. But something about the presentation bypassed normal sensory channels, implanting the information directly into their memory centers. They saw human history unfold, a species born on a death world, constantly fighting for survival against their environment, against diseases, against each other. They witnessed how this crucible forged not just physical resilience, but psychological adaptations unlike any other known species. "Humans don't build weapons," Harbinger explained as the images continued to flood their minds. "They build solutions to problems. The problem of war is simply one they've had more practice solving than most." The images shifted to show the integration of human and machine, not crude cyborg technology as the Alliance had assumed, but something far more elegant. Human consciousness working in perfect symbiosis with mechanical systems, each enhancing the other. "We become our ships," Harbinger continued. "They become extensions of us. There is no distinction between human technology and human biology at the highest levels of our military. This is what you failed to understand when you scanned me. You weren't examining an object. You were vivisecting a person." The enormity of their mistake became clear to Zexvora. "We didn't know," she whispered. "Now you do," Harbinger replied. "And now comes the most important part of your education." The restraining fields vanished. The crew members found themselves able to move again, but none did, too captivated by the unfolding revelations. "I could destroy your vessel," Harbinger stated matter-of-factly. "I could end your lives. Human military protocol would justify such action given your intrusion, but that would be inefficient." "What do you mean?" asked the Admiral cautiously. "You will serve a better purpose as messengers," Harbinger explained. "You will return to the Alliance with first-hand knowledge of why human military technology, must remain untouched. Your experience will be more convincing than any warning transmission. The images stopped. The walls became solid again. The crew felt their minds clearing, though the information remained, filed away like natural memories. "You're letting us go." Zexvora couldn't hide her disbelief. "With conditions," Harbinger clarified. "First, the quantum entanglement remains. I will always know where your ship is, what data you transmit. Second, you will carry a truth that cannot be denied or dismissed as legend." "What truth?" asked the Admiral. "That human warships are not just vessels. We are veterans. We are guardians. We are memories of conflicts you cannot imagine. And we are patient, but not endlessly forgiving." With those words, they found themselves back aboard the Celestial Seeker, all systems restored to functionality, positioned far from the neutron star and the Harbinger, which was nowhere to be seen. Only the ship logs confirmed their experience had been real. That and the strange blue glow that briefly appeared under their skin when they spoke of what they had learned. 3 cycles later, before the assembled Galactic Council, Admiral Vextoral and Chief Scientist Zexvora presented their findings. When questioning counselors expressed skepticism, the blue glow manifested across their bodies, and Harbinger's voice echoed through the chamber. Confirmation provided. The council deliberation was the shortest in recorded history. Galactic Law 7291 was established unanimously. No vessel, scientific or military, shall attempt to scan, probe, or otherwise investigate human military technology without explicit permission from human authorities. Some younger species protested this apparent submission to human dominance. The Alliance elders silenced them with 4 simple words: "Only fools scan warships." Throughout human space, monitoring stations noted the change in alien behavior with satisfaction. At Earth Command Central, Admiral Sarah Chen reviewed the report on the Harbinger incident with a slight smile. "It worked then," observed her colleague. "The legend will spread." "Legends are powerful things," she agreed, "especially when they're true." In a secure facility beneath the Pacific Ocean, thousands of human volunteers prepared for consciousness transfer, veterans offering their experience, their vigilance, their very souls to become the next generation of guardians. They would drift in the dark places between stars, appearing derelict and tempting to the unwary, and the wise aliens would stay very, very far away.